There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you all are having a lovely day today. So today we are back at the channel with another speed build, and we are actually building a house that is really inspired by one of my all-time favorite movie houses, and that is the house from the movie Practical Magic. So I don't know if you guys know that movie because it is from the 1998 when that video released, or movie. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know that movie, but for me it was an iconic movie. That is my childhood. I was 15 years old when I first saw that movie, and right away from the beginning I fell in love with that house. That was my dream house. I knew when I grew up, I was gonna buy the house. Sadly, the house doesn't exist anymore. And of course, if it did exist, I would have probably couldn't afford it. I mean, I can barely afford my house, and it's teeny tiny. So this Victorian mansion is way out of my budget. But yes, sadly enough, this house got demolished when they finished recording the movie, and they actually built the house only for that movie. The producer said that when they wanted to start filming, they couldn't find a house that fitted in with the story. I mean, the story made the house look very unique, and they couldn't find the unique characters that they needed for their, for the movie in any other existing house. So what they did, they actually built the entire architectural shell before recording, and it took them months to finish that house. And then when they finished the recording, they just demolished it like that. So it's actually kind of sad. It makes me sad. I do know why they needed to demolish the house, because they actually built it with not very durable materials. So I do understand it. This wasn't a house to live in, but still, it makes me very sad that the house is no more and that you could never ever just go and look at this house, or just that it's not in the world anymore. It makes me really sad. Luckily though, we can recreate it in The Sims, and that is what we are doing today. We are making the Practical Magic house. I am turning it around, giving it my own little twist. So I do have to say, no, this is not an exact copy. The site that I'm working on right now, I do try to make that as exact as possible, but all other parts are, inspired by, but not exactly the same. Just a little heads up, if you were looking for an exact copy of that house, this is not it. It looks quite similar. It has the same feel. It has the same structure, but it's definitely not the same. And then when you go into the interior, I really trail off, because in the interior, I'm actually going for a family witchy home. So it's not for like two, adult Sims with their aunts living in an enormous mansion. It is actually for a family. So there's a toddler, there's a teen, there's a kid. There's all varieties of how do you say it, of oh my gosh, of generations. There's also a guest bedroom for their grandparents. So if you want to, you can have the grandparents live in the house as well, because there is a bedroom for them on the first floor. And I am playing around with the idea of having the grandparents living in. And then on the second floor, I am building a master bedroom, a teen girl's bedroom, a kid's bedroom, a toddler bedroom, and a twin boys bedroom. So that is what we'll be doing on the second floor. And then on the third floor in the little tower, there will be a tiny office. But of course, I will walk you all through that in the second part of the video. So yes, this is a two-parter. I'm so sorry if you don't like two-part videos, but if you are, from my channel, you have watched me for a couple of months now, you will know that having a 2-part series is one of the things I tend to do in all my builds. Usually my builds are the first part exterior, the second part interior. That is how I roll. I mean, not with every build in a normal house on like a 30 by 30, 30 by 20, or, a small modern build on a 30 by 40. I can fit that into one episode. But for these type of builds, on a 50 by 50, lots of detailing, lots of me fussing around with color palettes, it takes a little bit longer. And this video would have been 1 hour long without editing. So I thought, let's just split it up, edit a little bit, and make it a 2-parter. So that is what we did, and I'm actually really happy with it, because now you can really see all the tiny little details, like these, I don't know what they are called, but I'm placing them on the side of the house. I'm adding them over the entire house. So there are little tiny details everywhere, just to make the house have that that finished look. Because sometimes when I'm building and I'm not doing these little details, especially when I'm doing traditional houses, the house doesn't feel finished to me. And that is really important. When I'm building something and I'm done, it needs to be finished and complete, and there should have not been, any regrets. I don't like building and then having some regrets later on. I don't like it. So I try to detail my houses as much as possible, and that is also what I did for this video, for this build, and that's why it's a 2-parter, and I'm sorry. But that's just how it is. Anyways, here, adding in the little garden area, I am gonna flip over the house, by the way. So now we are facing the side of the house, but actually the entrance is at the right side. So the reason why I did this is I didn't know it. I thought that this, the front at the pathway, I thought that this was the front of the house. Later on, when I went through pictures of the house, I actually saw that it was the side of the house, and then the other side was the front. So I do flip it over. You will see that a little bit later on in the video. And I also have to say, a little heads up, the lighting in the speed build is gonna change like around 8 minutes within the video. So I am building this part of the video when the update for seasons wasn't released yet. So this is just the normal lighting, base game lighting that we've gotten with the game. But then later on, after the free update, my lighting changed and it looks really weird. And actually my walls were green. When I went into build mode through the gallery or through the world map, my walls were green, and I didn't continue this build for like a solid week and a half until they released another update, and it did fix the problem. My walls are not green anymore, but the lighting is still very, very different in summertime than it is right now in summertime. I don't mind the lighting at all. You can see it right here. We're now in the last day of spring, almost into summer, and this is the lighting. So I don't mind it. The only thing that is bothering me a little bit right now is the green grass. The grass is a bit too green, in my opinion. I mean, grass needs to be green, but is it this green? I know they always say that grass is always looks greener on the other side, but even not this green. This is too much. So I do think that this is a problem. I think this is a bug. I actually did report this to the sim gurus, and they have said that they saw this in game and they are working on a fix. So that is actually great to hear. I would have liked to have this maybe one shade not this green. You know what I mean? But it's fine. So what I actually did for building purposes, I actually switched the season. So now we are building in spring. A little bit later on, we are gonna build in fall time. And I have to tell you, in fall, this house looks magnificent. I love it so much. I wish we could only set one season if we wanted to, and I would have played this house in an eternity of fall and winter, because in winter time when there's snow, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I love it so much. So for fall and winter, it's a yes house, as you guys can see right now. Now we are in fall. In spring, summer, I don't really like the lighting, but I'm hoping that they are gonna fix it so that later on it's not gonna bother me anymore. Anyways, we are in fall. I'm loving how the lighting is looking. I flipped over the house, by the way, if you didn't notice it. I'm making the front entrance, adding in spandrels everywhere. I do find adding in spandrels in the porch area, especially when you are working with a traditional house, really makes the house look a bit more finished and detailed. So just a little tip, if you are working with a traditional house and with little porches, don't forget to add in your spandrels and your columns. They are very important. So here I'm trying to decide what I wanted to do. So do I want to go with a brick, on the little walkways right there, or do I want to go with wood? I decided to go with wood, and I decided to go with the Jungle Adventure wooden floorboards. So these are my favorite wooden floorboards to use for the exterior and also sometimes for the interior as well. I love the very rich color, especially the dark one that I'm using right now. This is my default color that I use like everywhere in every build. And the reason why is they look really natural and robust. And for an exterior kind of build, so here on the porch area, it looks very lovely. So here, starting with the landscaping at the front, I really do like the landscaping in this build. So the majority of this video, I think the next couple of 12 minutes is just landscaping. So just so that you know, if you like landscaping, you will have landscaping heaven the upcoming 12 minutes. If you don't like landscaping, I'm so sorry. That's all I can say, because it's just landscaping, me doing the garden section, landscaping in all the flowers. That is what we are gonna do right now. So what am I doing here? I'm just trying to figure out the layout of this side garden that I'm making. It's definitely gonna change multiple times until I figured out how I wanted it to look. Because how it is looking right now, it looked a bit empty. There wasn't enough, flower beds or areas for me to grow vegetables and fruits and flowers and such. So I am adding in way more spaces for your harvestables. So here I'm adding in a door to enter the greenhouse so that you can enter it from this side of the house. You can enter it from the other side, and you can also enter it from the inside, from the kitchen. So I'm gonna make the kitchen here on the back part of the house. That is something that I usually do. I always try to connect the kitchen with the backyard. That is just important for me. I don't know why. Just the idea of having the kitchen connected to the garden makes me happy. I think the reason why I like it so much is because my kitchen is actually not connected to my garden. My kitchen is connected to the front yard. And it drives me insane, especially when we are having like a barbecue in summertime. And it's summer now in Belgium, by the way. So we are having loads of barbecues. And it's a pain to go through the entire hallway, then to the kitchen, to grab your supplies. Also, I really like the idea of having a open kitchen with those, French doors. Yeah, French door opening into the garden so that your kitchen looks like it's extended. My kitchen definitely doesn't have that. I have my living room. Then next to my living room, we have the kitchen. Then we have a hallway with the toilet, the bathroom, and then the garage. That is how my layout is from my first floor. It's very common to have it this way here where I live in this part of Belgium. And I think it's the reason because a lot of houses here in my street were actual barns, like my house is. My house is a converted barn. So they shoehorned everything in. Later on, I think it was after World War II, they decided to convert this barn into a house. And an architect did design it. It was my husband's aunt. And I have to say, I don't like the layout she designed, but I think it was the norm back then. Because looking back right now, if I look to more modern day architects, they do it way different. Usually the kitchen is at the back, the bathroom. There is one upstairs, also downstairs. I only have a bathroom downstairs. So when I want to pee in the nighttime, I need to cross my entire house. So my bedroom is at the furthest end of the staircase. So I need to cross the hall, cross the children's bedrooms, go downstairs. Then I need to cross the living room, then the kitchen, and then we have the bathroom. So when I was pregnant, that was a real problem, because when you're pregnant, especially in the later stage of your pregnancy, when you need to go, you need to go. So there were a couple of accidents. I won't lie about that. I peed my pants a couple of times. So, you know, it happens. The things that you see in the Sims, usually pregnant Sims in my game, they pee their pants a lot. And I did that as well. So it's a little bit on the, realistic side in The Sims, especially if your bathroom is very far away. So if I would redesign this house, which I'm actually doing right now with the architect, I'm gonna add in a bathroom here on top of the second floor. There's gonna be a second staircase leading from our part of the house downstairs into that hallway. Then I'm gonna switch the bathroom downstairs with the kitchen. And I'm gonna make my bathroom actually in where my garage now is. My garage is really large. I don't use all the space. So we're gonna take a little bit of the garage and we're gonna make the downstairs bathroom there so that we don't lose any space. And then we make our living room way bigger, because now we have our living room section that we have right now, and then we can also take the kitchen that is now gonna move to the back of the house, and we can make that living room as well. So I'm very excited about that. Sadly, we're still in the planning phase. All of this is gonna be established in like a year or 3. So I still need to wait a very long time until they're gonna start constructions, until they are gonna finish it. And also it's gonna be very, very interesting. Do I have the budget? Because, you know, they always give like a little estimate on how much it's gonna cost you. But in the end, it always costs more. So we have a little bit of saving, a tiny bit. Also gonna take out a loan on the bank. So I'm hoping and praying that we're gonna make it. But of course, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. But yeah, that's just a little story on what I'm working on right now in my own home. And I'm hoping and praying that it's gonna look really nice. Anyways, in the house right now, we are working on the backyard. So on the side of the house, we have this little garden patch. And then on this side, I didn't want to do like another garden patch for your Sims to plant flowers. I thought, no, let's make like a really nice relaxing area with a clothing line, of course, very important. I mean, we have witches living in this house. Of course, they have technology. They do have a washer and dryer, but they prefer to do the things with magic. So they wash and dry their clothing with magic, but they do need a dryer to put it on. And that is just how I imagine that they do it. They hang it all up and they do like a little spell and it's all dry or something like that. But I just really liked how it looked aesthetically with the washing line. So that's why we added it in. And I like it. I really do like it. And I'm also gonna add in a little toddler pool in the back of the yard, and I'm really addicted to that toddler pool. I've been using it in every build now. I think it looks really lovely, and the toddler pool actually inspired me to buy one for myself. So a few days ago, on a Saturday, I actually bought Sadie a tiny unicorn toddler pool. And no, she's not a toddler anymore, but she's quite tiny. I'm also very tiny. I'm only 1 meter 53. So I'm very tiny, and my children are as well. So she actually fits in really well inside the toddler pool. There can be like, I think I can fit three toddlers in the pool that I bought. So it's not that small, but it is small, and I also fit it in myself, and I can lay in it if I want to. My feet do go over the edge, but it's fine by me. But I'm obsessed with our little unicorn toddler pool, and it was only 15 euros in the Aldi, by the way. Just a heads up, if you are living in Belgium, they are in the Aldi for 15 euros, and for me that's a steal, because our other pool that I bought for my oldest daughter Selena, that was 50 euros. Granted, it is larger. It's 2 meters by 3 meters, but still 50 euros for a swimming pool that I use twice a year. Usually I fill it up. She will use it one day and then she's tired of it. Which I think is very wasteful, especially for the water, the amount of water that goes into such a large pool. So we actually don't use it. But this tiny little toddler pool, I've been using it every day, and it's because it doesn't need that much water. Usually Sadie goes in it and then I go in it with my feet. That's all I need actually. Or I go sit with her, next to her, and we play with the Barbies, because she has loads of mermaid Barbies. She is mermaid obsessed, by the way, if you didn't know it. She and her mermaid Barbies are inseparable. She also has mermaid My Little Ponies. Apparently there was a My Little Pony mermaid video or movie, and she watched it with her older sister. And now she's obsessed with mermaid ponies. So me, the mermaid ponies, and the mermaid Barbies have been chilling in the toddler pool these last couple of days, and I've been loving it. So just a little tip, if you have a toddler or a very small child like I have, buy a toddler pool for this weather. It's definitely worth the money. Anyways, back to the build. As you guys can see, I added in some pumpkins here in the corner. I also added in the pumpkin carving table. It just fits in with this witch theme that I'm going for. I imagine that the family really likes to carve their own pumpkins for Halloween. And because we are building in fall, Halloween is just around the corner. And that is their favorite holiday. Of course, that is their holiday. I don't know if you guys watched Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, when you were younger, or maybe you are watching it still. I have all the DVDs, by the way. I'm so obsessed with that series. And in that series, Halloween was a very big thing. I know the aunts always went to visit, their relatives, like we visit our relatives on Christmas time. So Halloween was like their Christmas, which I really loved so much, the idea that witches would celebrate it like it was Christmas. So I do imagine that the family living in this house, the witch family, that they would celebrate the Halloween like that as well. I mean, that is the entire story behind all the pumpkins. I'm hoping that you guys like it as much as I do. Anyways, we're at the end of the video, so this is the end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 that is gonna come hopefully very soon. I'm working very hard to have that online before I leave on vacation. But if I'm not gonna manage to upload it before I go, I will definitely let you guys know on Twitter if it's not gonna work out. So if you aren't following me on Twitter, please do. My Twitter handle is in the description of the video. Go check that out and follow me there if you want to keep updated on the situations of all the builds and if you want to see sneak peeks. Anyways, we're at the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave your likes, of course, if you did. And if this is the first video that you are seeing from me and you are liking what you're seeing and you are liking what you're hearing, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you would never ever miss a video of mine. So I'm hoping that you all are having an awesome day wherever you are, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.